Welcome to this short video where we're going to show you how you can get Pipeline Pilot working with Amazon S3, a totally excellent cloud-based storage system. So in order to make this easy for you, we provided an example protocol, which we just have to do a bit of work to configure to get working. I can find that example protocol on the Protocols tab by just searching for S3, and you can see there it is. I can find out where it lives by toggling the view, and let's open it up. Okay, what we see is a lot of red. We see a bunch of different pipes that we're going to eventually get working. But our attention is drawn to the red sticky note. This example relies on a configured tagged resource in the admin portal, defining the URL and credentials. See the help text for more configuration details. So over here, it has the help text, and it talks a little bit about setting up resources and then using resources. So we'll come back to that. But it directs us to a help page in the administrator's help. So let's go have a peep at that. I'm going to open up the Help Center. I'm going to go onto the Administrators tab, and I'm going to simply search for the word tagged. And up comes a list of hits. The first one is the one I want. It's a page about tagged resources, and it explains them in quite a bit of detail. I'm not going to go into that. If you really just want to cut to the chase, you scroll down, 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 and it says, oh, adding a tagged resource for an AWS S3 site. So it says, here's what you need. You need an access key, a secret key, and you need a bucket with a unique name, because basically a tagged resource is going to correspond to an S3 bucket. Okay, and then it tells you actually how to fill in the thing on the admin UI. We'll come back to that. So I'm going to need to do a little bit of work in AWS. So I'm over here now logged into AWS as my root user, and I'm going to need to use two apps. I'm going to need to use Identity and Access Management, and of course S3. So let's go into this one first. The simplest way to set this up is to create a new IAM user. So this is a user that will have programmatic access to S3. I've called that user BIOVIA Pipeline Pilot. And you can see when it was created, I've got the key information. It doesn't show the secret key here, though. The only other thing I needed to do was give this user permissions. So I created a policy, and I can look at that policy here. The essential bit of this policy, I'm just going to show you the raw JSON. The essential bit of that policy is that it gives me specific permissions on that named bucket. For reasons of simplicity, I didn't give this user the permission to create buckets. So the bucket is going to be created by this root user, but once that bucket is created, then the Pipeline Pilot user is going to be able to manipulate its contents. So let's go over and have a look at the bucket. So I can navigate there in a variety of ways. I'm just going to go to S3 here, and I can see a list of buckets. And I'll go into that bucket, and it's exactly what you expect. This little console UI is lovely, and you can create content for the bucket. So I have a file here in the root folder, and then I have some other folders, and of course they have content in them. Okay, so we'll come back to that. So now, using the IAM information, I can go over to my admin UI, and under the setup folder, there's a tagged resource page, and there I can actually create this tagged resource. So I've already done that. I'm not going to create it on the fly. I need to give it a name. I need to give it the key information, a region, and I need to give the URL, which is essentially the bucket name. So that's created now, and I can refer to that bucket back in the example protocol now. I can make use of this tagged resource. So let's go back to the protocol, and it says the way that you do that is you type the name of the tagged resource with the prefix resource : // So let's just do that. Let's go resource : and if you remember, I called it Amazon S3 demo. That was the name of the bucket. I mean, the tagged resource, sorry. Okay, so I'm going to reuse this. So there are a variety of Pipeline Pilot components which are S3 aware. List files is one. Here we're listing the files in the top directory. Here we're listing them recursively, so any files on the system. Here we're looking at directories, and here we're looking at recursive directories. So list files is S3 aware. Now we're going to copy a file from the Pipeline Pilot server up to S3. Here the syntax is only slightly different, so we need the resource again, but the destination is just going to be a path, which I can, so if I have, I want to put this thing at the top level folder in S3, then I just, that's the path, but if I want subfolders, I include them in here. And now I'm going to do other things to that file. I'm going to read that file. So that's how I specify it. So the copy file is S3 aware. All of the file readers are S3 aware. The delete file thing is S3 aware. So I'm going to clobber it after I've read it. And now I want to simply confirm that I've successfully deleted that. So again, I'm going to use list files. So now this thing is ready to run, and I'll run it now. It's going to spit out about half a dozen Notepad viewers. Let's just set it off and run. So you can see 3, 4. This one's going to be the data, I think, probably. Yep, a big file there with the data, and there's the last one. So I won't go through all of these files. I'll just say the first pipe in the pipeline was to list files at the top level in the directory. And there it is, right? That was my that was my file in the top directory, and so on and so forth. And this is the contents of the file that I uploaded and to S3, and then I read here. So it's very, very easy to get Pipeline Pilot to work with S3. You just need to do a little bit of configuration work in IAM to set up your user, and then in S3 to set up the bucket, and then you set up the tagged resource, and then away you go. All of these Pipeline Pilot components are S3 aware. So thanks for your time.